Hi, and welcome to the Art of Planning Your Life. I'm Janice Sanders, and I'm co-hosting today with my friend Alix Rowland. And today we want to talk to you about a subject that's very near and dear to all of us because we all witness it every time we turn on the news. And it's violence is never the answer. So as we're experiencing this violence in our world, we want to find a source to stop having this violence. So Alix, I'm going to ask you straight away, how has violence maybe affected you? And do you have any suggestions for how we could stop violence in our world?
Hi, Janice. Hi, everybody. Thanks for tuning in today. I think I have, of course, in the news lately, here in the United States especially, are having a big upsurgence of people wanting to stop violence. And that's how it's affected me right now most profoundly, is that I hear about people who've been killed by other people. I hear about people being treated unfairly. I don't see it in my small town to that extent. But that's how it's affecting me right now, is I'm seeing people standing up to want to stop violence, but unfortunately, some of them are using violence. And I think that's why this topic is on our mind. Breaking windows and lighting things on fire, can that, or even worse, hurting other people, can that actually be a solution?
I don't think so, Alix, because, in our earlier episode, you taught the pin. You taught that if we are seeing a pin, how it's coming from our mind by having shared a pin with someone in the past. So theoretically, if we understand that the pin is coming from us, when we respond to violence with more violence, what are we doing? We're
Planting
planning more,
more.
yeah. We're
Mm-hmm.
planning more violence. So violence is never the answer. So I want today to express deeply for us to go deep inside of us and look for small ways that we're creating this violence. If we're seeing it, it must be inside of us. So I was examining just, like when I've been sarcastic to someone with my words, maybe saying, hey, have a nice day, when really I didn't mean that at all. That is the form of violence. So I just wanted Alix and I to talk about small ways that we're possibly creating seeds for us to see this violence. And by doing this, you can examine where you're planting seeds to cause and see violence. Do you have any ways that you might be seeing and planting seeds?
Yeah, but before I answer that question,
Yeah.
I was just like, I felt an objection come up in my mind.
Okay.
So before I really go and try to look at how I am doing that, I want to look at, can my small actions really affect something that I'm seeing on TV? Okay, I'm wondering, my little things, will they really work? And then also I'm wondering, if someone's coming at me to attack me, don't I need to protect myself? If I'm in a violent situation, like what I'm seeing on TV, you're being attacked, then you attack back to protect yourself. So should I be a doormat and let people hurt me? So can we talk about that first and then look for the finer causes?
That's excellent, Alix. No, we should never, never be a doormat. If you're in a relationship that's abusive and it's hurting you, that's not a relationship. You have to find protection. And if someone's coming at you with a knife, you've got to protect yourself. If you can disarm them without hurting them, that's the best way. But sometimes, maybe just to run away or somehow protect yourself is very, very important. Even in relationships, sometimes you just have to leave it to be safe, because
Yeah.
we're all very precious. And if we allow those people to hurt us, we're just helping them plant more bad seeds. And we don't want to
Right.
do that. And Alix, I think you can explain it even more clearly if you'd like to give it a go.
Well, no, I think what you said is perfect. So we can run away, or
Yeah.
we can try to restrain someone who's being violent towards us. So that at least makes me feel like, in order to follow the DCI system, I don't have to allow someone to hurt me. We're not
No.
saying that. And so thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah. And thank
Then,
you for that excellent question.
yeah, for the other part, can something small I do really affect what I see happening in the world around me, or even in our own town when there's violence near us, or even someone does violence towards us, we just have to keep applying our wisdom about the pen, as you already said. So I don't think it's not something that, you know, we suddenly realize that every little thing we do is going to matter. But I think when we feel a little bit of doubt about it, I'm so small, how can I make a difference in the world? We just have to go back again and again to the puppy and the person, how they see the pen, why they are not both seeing the same thing, or why Janice and I are not seeing the same thing right now.
Right.
And then just apply that wisdom and use our clear thinking so that if it applies to one thing, it has to apply to everything.
Right. You know, and the key is, let's say I do say something with my words that it's kind of mean and it's sarcastic. Or on the other hand, I planted a bad seed when I've done that, a seed for me to see violence. Or on the other hand, if someone speaks to me in a harsh way and I respond in kind, then I'm just replanting the seed. Rather, if I don't want to keep replanting seeds of violence, if someone says something harsh or mean to me, I don't respond in kind. I just go, I'm burning that off, or just kind of smile at them. And like we said, if you're in danger, walk away, run away. Maybe just smile at them, maybe not, and then not respond like I normally would, like yelling back when somebody's yelling at me. Mm-hmm. And that's one way we can stop planting small seeds of violence. And just, I wanted to mention that so we could all start a small practice of looking for ways that we can stop planting violence in our world. And it does begin with us.
Uh-huh. And was that your question? I got sidetracked. I apologize. Did you ask me about small ways that I have been planting seeds for violence?
Yeah.
Or small ways that I've been stopping? I can't remember which.
You know what? Either way is good. Well, you could start with, let's start with a positive. Small ways you responded differently to stop seeing violence in your world.
Okay. Well, I think, of course, what you said about not yelling back is the foundation of not planting new seeds of violence. And if you've been practicing DCI for a while, that starts becoming easier. I think for me, the biggest way that comes up in my life is if I get criticized. Just actually a couple of days ago at work, I had some people who were interviewing different companies, different individuals to be their agent for a real estate transaction. And they called me and we set an appointment to talk, and they had a lot of questions. They interviewed me like I was applying for a job, but they came to me, so already I'm a little bit like, okay. So they asked, they had a set list of questions they'd gotten off the internet or something. And these were young people, had never bought a house before. And so they told me they were interviewing several people. And so I was as helpful as I could be. And I sent them a follow-up email. Please let me know what you decide. So a couple days later, I get an email back from them. And this was also a personal referral. I should tell you, they knew someone I knew. So I thought, I'll probably get the job. But I didn't, okay? They sent me an email. They chose another realtor. And right away inside my heart, I could feel this anger, or like somehow I had been insulted. So noticing that feeling is the first step for me, is noticing that I feel like someone has attacked me in some way. And then right on the heels, hot on the heels, we say in English, hot on the heels of that feeling that I've been attacked, is making a judgment about them. Well, those people don't know what they're doing. They probably picked some terrible realtor. I make a judgment about them. And so there I'm planting the seed for violence because I'm attacking them back. So this happens so fast, I can't really yet stop it before that thought against them comes up. But as soon as I notice it, then I apply my wisdom. I'm like, hold on, you have to I pull myself up short and I start thinking of different things. One, I can be happy for the other realtor who got that work. They probably need that work. So being happy that someone else got a good job was one of the main things I did. Then if I didn't get the job, I know that I didn't plant the seeds to get that job. So if I had had the seeds by helping other people get work, by practicing generosity, then that job would have come to me. So that's a couple of ways that I can apply wisdom, and it does help. And then the feeling in the heart, maybe it loosens up. I don't feel so attacked. Maybe it comes back again, which is what happened to me. So several times during the day, I would have to apply my wisdom again. When my automatic reaction comes up, oh, those people hurt me, then wait a second, those people didn't hurt me. I had the seeds to not get that job.
Oh, great. So what I was hearing, it's like that fear of being judged, fear of not being like up to what they wanted. And it just made me think of all the times I've been fearful, and what it makes me do. When I'm fearful, I get tight in the chest and somebody yells back at me. Well, I feel like the only thing I can do is yell back. And I was just thinking about turning this fear into something different, understanding that, everyone has some fear. And if we start thinking about them, there are people in very dangerous situations. And if we start having compassion for those people anywhere around the world, then we're actually planting seeds to eliminate our own fear by, just thinking about those people. And if we begin to eliminate our own fear, we're going to have less cause to feel attacked, and we won't respond in kind. We won't respond in violence. And we all know violence doesn't work. We can look through the history of the world and see war after war after war after war after war. If it worked, we wouldn't still be having it. So that's like a proof in itself that violence never works. So there must be a different way we can do this and help each other to plant the seeds to have peace, and to plant the seeds, like Alix just told us this story, in a very simple way that we could begin by eliminating it with ourselves. Understanding that we didn't plant the seeds to get the job. And if for me here in my little town, right now, we're in the COVID-19 era, and that's going to pass, but it's going to be relevant no matter what. Sometimes I get business, sometimes I don't. I could try to blame it on COVID, or that cars don't drive onto the back street where my business is. But the bottom line is, I haven't planted the seeds. So when I understand that, it starts eliminating my fear and making me think, how can I plant the seeds for business? How can I plant the seeds for peace? And there are lots of ways. Helping another business succeed, helping someone else feel more peaceful when I think of all the people around the world. So do you have anything to add to that, Alix? You always have beautiful tidbits to hear.
Well, I was thinking about coffee meditation, because you were talking about, and we started this conversation about the greater problems we see in the world. Janice and I are very fortunate. We live in Colorado, in a relatively peaceful part of even in our own country. But if I'm able to stop my anger, as I worked on with the clients in the example, then at night, if I remember to be happy about it, I'm watering that seed so that the result will grow. And it will grow to see less violence in the world all around us, right? Which is your whole topic today, Janice, is that by the small little things that we do in our own life, by recognizing the tendency that we have to keep perpetuating the violence that we have the seeds for, because we yelled back in the past, if we can break that tendency to keep perpetuating it, it's not only going to change our life, it's going to change what we see in the whole world. And we can envision a world where everyone knows that if they want peace and happiness, violence is never going to be the answer. It just, it's not, it doesn't, if we use our clear thinking, we know that violence is only going to lead to more violence. And it's the subtle ways in my own mind that if we get practiced at looking for it in our own mind, it gets more and more subtle. And wouldn't it be wonderful if someday I could root it out of my own mind totally? This anger, violence, fear, they're all kind of related to each other, aren't they? So that's what I would do, coffee meditation at night, and dedicate that coffee meditation to ending violence in myself and in my world.
Oh, thanks, Alex. That's beautiful. And this is a great, we're going to talk about in our next episode. It's called The Four Flowers, How Seeds Ripen. And this will tie right in. So be sure to tune in to our next episode. And I want to thank you all for tuning in today. And thank you, Alex, for co-presenting with me. And we look forward to talking to you all again in our next episode.
Thanks, Janice. See you all next time.
Okay, thanks a lot.